Hi, good evening everybody. Welcome to Inside the Numbers. If you're new here, this is just a video that I use the board and discuss. It could be trades, numbers. Today, guys, I'm going to do another one, okay? The 12 best road records in Sabres history, because last year was a very impressive road season. Where does it stack up? Where does it compare? How does it compare? These are questions. So we're gonna get into this, guys, and I will try to keep her moving. I know the last one I made of these was kind of long, so I'm gonna shoot for under 8 minutes. I don't know if I'll make it or not, okay? So let me get my glasses on, guys, and we'll get started here. And I got the 12 best road records in Buffalo Sabres history on the board. So the first one is 18, 14, and 8. That was the 1975-76 Buffalo Sabres. That was a team that had just come off the 74-75 Stanley Cup Finals and went into this year with a very, very impressive road record also. I mean, it wasn't like monstrous, but it was a very impressive road record. A lot of pressure on the young Sabres at the time, or I should say the young core at the time. And they disappointed come playoff time. But it does cut the board. So that comes in at number 12. Number 11 at 18, 13, and 9. Now this one's an interesting one. I still remember this season. I still remember the overtime. The 1980-81 Buffalo Sabres. I'm just going to give you the memories I have, guys. And I know I'm pretty accurate with most of them. Some of them that I don't remember too much. I won't say nothing. But 80-81, we came off that 47-17-16 season. We went into the next year, second year under Scotty Bowman. This was Roger Nielsen's first year behind the bench. The Sabres had a 99-point season. I still remember because I was frustrated it was 99. And we went into the playoffs. We ran into the young Minnesota North Stars who took out the Habs the year before in the playoffs. And they took us out pretty quick in the quarterfinals. We played the Canucks again in the first round that year. We beat them 3 straight. We beat them 3-1 the year before. But in this season here, it was disappointing because when we went into that series, all of a sudden the North Stars are up 3-0 and the young North Stars are doing it again. They were like a good, fun young team for any of you that remember back in that era. Remember with God, I could say Steve Payne and Al McAdam. You guys remember them. Gilles Meloche, of course. 80-81, disappointing end. Went to Game 4 in overtime. Craig Ramsey scores the goal, forces it back to Buffalo. And I believe, now it's just a guess, I believe they eliminated us. It was 4-1 in Game 5. That's just what I remember in Buffalo. Frustrating end to that season. Moving on. All right, coming in number 10. Oh, okay. The 1976-77 Buffalo Sabres. That was the year the Habs completely made the league look foolish. The best team in NHL history was that Montreal Canadiens team that year. But the Sabres that year fought the Canadiens hard and played well against them. If you go check their record that year against Montreal. So Sabres are 21, 16, and 3 on the road that year, but folks, nobody was coming close to the Habs that year. So Montreal lost 8 games all year, and I was surprised they lost 8, really. Number 9. Where are you, number 9? There you are. (1993-94), basically the end of the McGillney-LaFontaine era. This was the year after the Habs had beaten us 4 straight in the playoffs and went on their run to win the Cup in '93. This was the following season, 21, 15, and 6. I believe, I'm gonna guess. No, I'm not gonna guess. I can't remember who took us out that year. I just don't remember. Sabres didn't have much playoff success, guys. I'm going to guess, believe it or not, did the Bruins come back and beat us after the Mayday goal the next year? No, I'm wrong, guys. No. of course. 93-94, Dominic Hasek, Marty Brodeur, games, the Hannon goal. Of course. Geez, I almost blew that one. Of course. Yeah, we lost Game 7 to Jersey. And probably the greatest goalie performance in Buffalo Sabres history was that Game 6. My goodness. And the Sabres won 1-0 in 4 overtimes, forcing a Game 7 just to lose. We've had some hard things to deal with, guys. All right, number 8. Where are you, number 8? 77-78. All right. I'm just going to take a quick guess and say the Sabres lost. I'm going to take a quick guess and say the Sabres lost in 6 games to the Bruins that season. I really don't remember. But I do believe Boston beat us in 78. It's a guess, though. It really is. Because the Sabres here, folks, 75, 76, 76, 77, 77, 78 continued to disappoint. You know? And in 77, 78, if I'm right, that was the year that St. Louis had us on the ropes. They won the first game. We won Game 2 in overtime. It's a 2 out of 3. And then we won Game 3 again in overtime. So that's what I remember anyway. I'm most likely wrong, guys. So I'm going to continue. 77, 78. Moving on. Number 7. Okay. Here we go. We were 23, 16, and 1. And the Sabres that year, 83-84. Oh, geez. I totally remember this year. Yep. 83-84, guys. What we did that year was the year after I wouldn't say the miracle run, but the run in 82-83, where we pushed Boston Game 7 in overtime and Brad Park scored. I couldn't wait for the next year because I was excited about this young team that we have all of a sudden, that Scotty just seemed to put together overnight, it felt like, really fast. And 83-84, we lost, I believe it was 4 of our last 5 games, right? I believe we lost 4 of our last 5 games, and the Bruins won out their last 4 of their last 5 games and picked up 6 points on us. We had a 5-point lead with 4 games left. You know what? I think we lost our last 4 games. They won their last 4 games. Anyway, we just choked first place. That year, they were 8-0 against the Habs, who they swept the year before. We were 8-0 against the Habs. We were 1-6-1 against the Nordiques, guys. And in that season, we went into the playoffs against the Nordiques. I felt good because it was this young Sabres team from the year before, and Quebec swept us out. Yeah, we lost 3 of our last 4. I remember, because we lost 6 of our last 7. Now I remember. So, just like that, season gone. Just like that. We went from this amazing playoff the year before, this young team. We choke up first with the last 4 games of the season, and then we just get swept out by the Nordiques. The Nordiques. All right, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm gonna need to calm down, and I'm not allowed to drink. So, all right, here we go, guys. Number 6. Oh, yes, I love this season. Still one of my favorite seasons, guys. 20. Oh, what am I doing? I'm marking what am I doing? Good Lord, guys, give me a second. I'm remarking I'm marking the record again. All right. All right. This year we went 20-12-8 on the road. The 1979-80 Buffalo Sabres. First year, Scotty Bowman in town. The year before, they lost in the first round to Pittsburgh, 2-1 in overtime. And you had no answers. This team was in 75 in the finals, a powerhouse, and they continued to spiral downward to the point where Pittsburgh beats us in the playoffs. And Pittsburgh was a joke back then, guys. Just trust me, they were. So you lose to the Penguins. You're like, what is going on? And 79-80, Bowman takes over. They cut the goals down. They were, I think, 33 goals less than anybody in the entire NHL that year. I think Boston was number 2, if I'm right. Anyway, 201 goals against, 318 goals for. Beautiful season, 47, 17, and 6. I still remember it because that was the year I collected tons of cards, and I had a lot of Gretzky rookies. Yes, I threw them out. Don't ask why. It's another bad story. Oh, God. All right. Here's one for you guys recently, since I'm reminiscing too much about the past here. I don't know why. I wasn't planning that. It is that season, right? Yes, it is. Okay. 22, 13, and 6, guys. Very good season on the road. The Sabres were, how it ended that year, just so you know, guys, 79-80. I got to talk about for a sec one more. 79-80, how that ended. It went to Game 6 in Long Island. The Sabres were up down 3-0. We won 3 games. We won in a shutout, made it 3-1. Was it in a shutout? No. We won 7-4 in Long Island, forcing it to Buffalo. We won in a shutout then, forcing it back to Long Island. Buffalo's up 2-0. The first 8 minutes, Perreault. That's it. Season over after that. We let in 5 consecutive goals, season over. I couldn't believe that when that season ended. I thought we had the cup that year. I did. Oh. All right, 2010, 2011. You guys might remember this one. That's the last time we made the playoffs, and that was where I believe Richard smashed Connolly into the boards, and the Sabres fans were livid in Buffalo. That's what I remember about that. We lost the first round to them. I think it was in 7, guys. See, I remember 80 better than 2011, eh? I'm pretty sure we lost in 7 in that series. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. All right, number 4. Where is number 4? Oh, great season. God. The 1974-75 Buffalo Sabres fall down this list a little. You wouldn't think so, eh? But that was the first year, I believe. Let me double check before I confirm that. Yes, that was the first year in our history we had a winning record on the road, guys. 74-75, we were 21-10-9 on the road. The previous 4 years, 8-26-5, 5-24-10, 7-21-11, and 9-24-6. Rough start in our history on the road, but our third year, our home record was just amazing in year 3, but that's another video. All right, guys, we are now at number 3. The 2005-2006 Buffalo Sabres, I'm going to put as number 3. 05-06, 25-13-3. As you guys recall, no point in looking here, I know the rest of them. As you guys recall, we just came out of nowhere that year and went crazy. We had injuries and everything and went nuts. I remember we started the season something like 7-9, if I'm right. I can't remember exactly. And then the Sabres went like this the rest of the year. Most painful playoff loss I ever endured in my life was when Carolina won that cup. We won't talk about that no more. And there it is, guys. I'm going to give them the nod because they deserve it, where they've come from as a franchise. The 2022-23 Buffalo Sabres come number 2 on this list, and folks, they don't make the playoffs. Imagine that. 25 wins on the road, and they don't make the playoffs. This is what you call, for me, youth. Learn. Pain. Learn. Hurt. Learn. That's what that is. I would consider the second best road record in our entire history, and we missed the playoffs. And we all know how we're feeling about going in this year. We're damn excited, and we should be. And going back to that, number 1, the 06-07 Slug team, the first overall Buffalo Sabres of 2007, who won the President's Trophy, come in at number 1 at 25-12-4. We painfully finished 1 win on the road away last year from having the best road record in our entire history. Imagine that. That's how good we were on the road last year, guys. Now, a few things here, a few notes. Yes, I will mark it down so I don't forget. Okay. In the 52 years in our history, guys, on the road, we have 19 winning records, 31 losing records, 2 500 records, okay? So 19, 31, and 2. In 11 seasons, we have 20 or plus wins. We made the playoffs every single time except last year. So that means everybody, which I mentioned pretty much all the playoffs here because that's how I remember these seasons. The only time we missed the playoffs was last year, guys. I'll put the evil asterisks on there. No playoffs. Every other team made the playoffs. Under Granato, this was interesting. I didn't know this. Under Granato, in 92 road games coached, we're 43, 41, and 8. And guys, try to remember what he took over from Kruger. Try to remember that disaster of an 18-game losing streak that he walked into. In the middle of it, Jack's gone, complaining about his neck. Kruger's just out to lunch on some universe somewhere. And this is what he walks into, you know, and he has to change the culture, at least attempt to change something about this team. And guys, I thought this was a very interesting stat, and I know I've dragged it out again. Sorry, guys, but I didn't know I was going to go down memory lane so much. We had 2 times in our history only twice, we've had back-to-back winning seasons on the road. Twice in our entire history. That surprised me, okay? And I'm double checking just to be sure I'm right about that. 1. Yes, 1. Yes. So get this though. The 2 times that we've had back-to-back winning seasons on the road, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 consecutive years of wins on the road. And the second time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years in a row winning record on the road. What eras? The 70s era with the French Connection. They went from 74, 75, 75, 76, 76, 77, 77, 78, 78, 79, 79, 80, and 80, 81, even after the French Connection, with winning records on the road. And the other era, our big team in 05, 06, 06, 07, 07, 08, 08, 09, 09, 10, and 2010, 2011. We stopped a string of 6 consecutive years with a winning record on the road the last time we made the playoffs. Now, something I found interesting, I'm going to close with this. Here's a funny thing. This is why sometimes, guys, I'm going to predict something. It's not going to make any sense. This is one of the reasons. In the 82-83 squad that came 1 goal away from the Final Four, that year on the road, we fell back to 13, 22, and 5 on the road. The next year, we went to 23, 16, and 1 and lost 3 straight. So it doesn't always work out. All right, guys, long enough. I'm sorry I dragged it. I wanted to go over some of this with you. See you in the next one.